Whether it's about your personal life, your relationship, your business, or your career, you can actually use the rest strategy to take things to the next level. So, what's the rest strategy and how can you use it to achieve tangible results? I have been teaching rest strategy for 8 years at my leadership academy, and the result has been tremendous. As a matter of fact, this strategy is used by top businesses and organizations in the United States to create a great atmosphere for teamwork in order to achieve tangible results. Joko and Leaf in their book Extreme Ownership demonstrated how this principle was used to turn around their US Navy team, and that made them a highly formidable force that it's so difficult to even conquer. Their strategy is based on the leadership principle that tells you to take ownership of anything you are involved in. Let me break it down. Red, from the word red, when we get to traffic lights, once it's red, it means stop. So, red principle tells you to stop your ego and take it out of the way so you can get things done. You can actually use this strategy in 3 easy steps to make a big difference. Whether it's dealing with your partner, in your relationship, or in your marriage, whether it's about your business partners, and all of that, stakeholders. Maybe some people are difficult to handle, to work with. You can actually use this strategy to make a big difference. It can also be in your career. Maybe you have a colleague at work that is so hard to work with. Maybe you have a team and you don't even know, everything keeps breaking down. You seem to be so stuck, nothing is getting better. By using this strategy, you can crack the code and you can chart a way forward. The first step is to shine a red light, a bright red light on your ego. See, let me be straight. We all have our ego. Everybody, our ego is the self-defense system that has been built into our body to protect us. So when things happen, everybody is going to look the other and say, no, I don't think I'm the one. I cannot be the one. It's always natural for us to defend ourselves. For us to, we want to rationalize it to our mind and to our brain that, nah, it cannot be me. I can't do that. It wasn't me. Even though we knew in the bottom of our heart that I think I caused this mistake. Our ego is never going to allow us to say, yes, I caused this mistake. It's my fault. I played a role. Our ego will find even 1,000 ways to defend us. Now, the point is, you need to understand that we all have ego. So what you need to do is to tame your ego. How do you tame your ego? Flash a red light and say, hey, stop right there. Stop it. So whenever you are involved with your partner or whether in business or relationship or anything in your career and things go wrong, you need to first tell yourself, hey, my ego, I'm putting this red flashlight on you. Stop. Don't get in my way. Don't act on my behalf. That way, you now have a control over your ego. That's like the first step. Once you've settled that, then that takes me to the second step. The second step is to take accountability. It's one thing to say, oh, my ego, stop it. I was part of this. It's another thing for you to say, to admit that you actually made a mistake or you're actually part of the problem that you guys want to solve. A lot of times, I tell you, in a lot of families, I've worked with a lot of clients as a transformational coach who want to be very successful, and in their businesses, when they tell me when things happen, or even in their families, I tell them, hey, this is what you are doing wrong, you should do this. They'll be like, but it was never my fault, but I never did that, until I show them by telling them stories. And when we start analyzing their past behaviors and the scenario at hand, and then I begin to show them, did you see the role you played? And they'll be like, oh, really? I never saw it that way. You know why they never saw it that way? Because their ego is always in the way. And don't get it wrong, all of us are guilty. Our ego is always in the way until you tame it and then you take accountability. Now you've taken accountability, you say, you know what? I agree. I should have done this. I shouldn't have done this. I think I have a role to play. That's good. A lot of people actually stop there. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you stop here, you are going to be easy to work with as a team member, as a partner, whether it's business or relationship or in your career where you work and all of that. That's okay. But now, to use the rest strategy, it doesn't just stop at step 2, which is accountability. You need to take things to the third level, which is you taking ownership or taking responsibility for everything that has happened. If you are joining for the first time, this is Dr. Three Ways. If you are joining me for the first time, welcome. I'm excited to see you. If you have been here, thank you for always coming back. I am a transformational coach. I work with people to crush their self-doubt and break down the barriers that are holding them back to become very, very successful so that they can become successful. I have a lot of content here that could help you, and I've put in a lot of time to make sure this helps you. This is really for you, so take your time to watch and learn as much as you can. Now, to the third point again, for you to take extreme ownership, for you to take ownership of anything that happens, for you to take responsibility, you need to go beyond admitting. Now, you need to say, this is what I did wrong, this is what I should have done right, and going forward, I am going to do this right. Is that clear? Like, it's not just, oh, I am sorry, I accept this is my, I mean, maybe this is all my fault, or I have a fault in this. That's okay, that's fine, but that's not enough. You need to be able to own it and say, you know what, this is where I did wrong, this is where I messed up. Now I want to make things right by doing A, B, C, D. Right? That's it. So that way you can stop that from happening in the future, and you can create a new system to make sure it doesn't happen. I'm going to give you an example to drive home this point. So let me use an example of someone I worked with in the past. He's a manager of a small store in the US. Let me call his name MP, right? Let's call him MP. And he told me, he said, it looks like two of my workers, and he was like, it looks like I'm at loggerheads with one of my workers. I said, what happened? He said, I really got mad at him. I said, what did you do? He said, can you just imagine, you know, before closing hour on a Friday, I just go to the schedule, because I usually make schedule, and about 1 hour before close time, I saw that the schedule has already been filled, the schedule for the next week. And it was like, I am the manager. I make the schedule every week, and I let them know on Fridays, usually in the morning. But today, you know, I got so busy, things got in my way, I couldn't do it. And then it was delayed, only for him to go there without telling me, without my consent, and he went to do it. And I was like, when I got to work on Monday, I told him never to ever try that with me again, or else he's going to be sacked and all of that. I was so angry, I couldn't hold myself back, blah, 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 blah. And since then, he's been cold towards me. He's not been doing his work the way he's supposed to do it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I see. I said, is that what happened? He said, that's what happened. I said, do you know what happened? Do you know you actually played a role in what happened? He said, how? In what way? He did what he's not supposed to do. That's not part of his job description. And I said, I have a question for you. If you had done that schedule Friday morning the way you usually do it, or you had instructed one of them to do it, or you had told them that, hey guys, the schedule will be delayed before the end of the day, we are going to get, do you think this would have happened? And he was like, I never thought of it that way. I said, did you see that? Most of the time we have a role to play, but we don't accept it because of our ego. We think we are right. Our ego is going to tell us, no, you are never wrong, you are right. And that's a problem. And this happens everywhere. I tell you that a lot of relationships break down because of this. Because people don't want to tame their ego, they don't want to take accountability, and they don't want to take ownership, right? So, I then said, what if you had done that? Do you think things would have turned out differently? Do you think it's a fault of the guy? And he said, oh, now I understand what you're saying. And I said, so he deserves an apology. And make sure next time, is either you make sure by Thursday evening, because before the close of business, you make the schedule available, or you put him or someone else in charge of it and say, every Friday, please do this schedule, show me. You can delegate, you don't have to do everything. Show me, let me go through it and be sure it's fine. And everybody's going to be okay. And it was like, yeah, that sounds like a plan. So putting in that plan means this is not likely going to happen in the future. Even if by mistake, if it happens, it's going to be fixed very quickly, and it's never going to lead to any conflict. So in relationships, whether it's 2 people, it's 3 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, if you don't use some of these strategies, a lot of conflicts is going to happen, and it's going to affect productivity, and it's going to affect success. So the rest strategy can be used to make all of the difference. If you are here to subscribe to this channel, I want you to subscribe so you can get this type of content and other ones that can change your life and make a big difference in what you do. I want you to use this strategy, use the rest strategy, use it in your relationship, in your career, in your business, in your personal life, and you are going to change your life. Put it in the comment section. Tell me, how do you think you will be applying this strategy? How do you think you can apply the rest strategy into your life? Share some of your experiences with us in the past. In what way do you think you can do things differently now? Tell me how you are going to use this strategy to make a difference in your business, in your personal life, in your career, and your relationship. I'm going to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.